everyone. Welcome to the meeting of this Historical Commission, Springfield. Today is February 5th, 2026. We'll start with a roll call. Commissioner Walsh.
I am here.
Yes, present. Thank you very much. Commissioner Nestor.
Here.
Beautiful. Commissioner Coffey.
Present.
Melody, present. Walter Kroll is absent. Judith is absent, and Melissa Zerzi absent. So we'll move along with our agenda as quickly as we can. Thank you for your patience in advance. We have the request, we have to accept the minutes from our last meeting, the 15th of January. Have you had a chance to look at them? And I'm opening to a motion to accept the minutes.
So moved.
Second, please.
Second.
Discussion. Hey, can I have a vote? Commissioner Walsh accepts the minutes.
Yes.
Thank you. Now Nerdy is yes. Commissioner Coffey.
Yes.
Commissioner Nesport.
Yes.
Minutes have been accepted. All right, so on our agenda, we have a continued hearing from the last meeting for Bowman Street. We have a letter from the owners asking to postpone.
They're asking for a 30-day extension and to be continued through March 5th, 2026.
Make a motion, we extend to the March 5th meeting.
Second.
Oh, it's good. Any discussion? You know, take a vote. Commissioner Walsh.
Yes.
Commissioner Coffey.
Yes.
Commissioner Nardi, yes. Then the next one.
Yes.
Okay, so the continuance is accepted. Welcome, everyone. If you haven't had a chance, please sign. We still have an attendance issue with the Okay, so we'll continue on with our new public hearings. First on our agenda is 24 Westerview Street. Someone here to speak on behalf of 24 Westerview Street. That's all. Please have a seat and give us your name and residential address for the record.
My name is Mark McCormick. My address is 99 Lewis Road in Springfield.
That's good. Let me just read a brief from staff. 24 Westerview. We overview the petitioner submitted an application for certificate of appropriateness for the purpose of installing 14 solar panels onto the west and east sides of the primary building, with utility equipment being placed on the eastern side of the building located midway along the side of the building. Panel will be presumably located midway on the east side of the building. Currently planned to remain unpainted silver piping. Panels located on the western side of the building are visible from the public way. And we'll let you give us an overview of what plans.
Sure. So from the design, we built it based off the home's viability. So those are really the only active spots on the roof.
The street is on the right side.
The street is on the right, yes.
Okay.
And then due to the meter being in the basement, we have to relocate that to bring up the code. So the utility company wants the trench to be the shortest path. So from the street to the house is right there, so the meter will go there, but our equipment will go on the side where the driveway in the other building is. And we can't paint the conduit if you guys want to, just has to be after inspection.
That's typically what we ask to paint it and with the match.
Yep.
The house so that it disappears as much as possible.
Yep.
What else can you tell us?
What else do you want to know?
No.
So
Okay.
it won't be visible from the front of the house. The meter will go in that little inlet right there, but that's utility. That's not our equipment, that's just standard.
And your equipment is behind the porch entrance.
Yeah. Behind the door in the back. But you'd have to really be looking for it, but
You'd have to walk down the
it'll be
driveway.
right
to
up
see it.
there, next to the gas meter, or, you know, a little bit off to the left.
To the left.
For code,
Mhm.
and then the conduit will go up from there.
Will it go along the drain pipe?
Yeah, yep, I think it has to be like a couple inches just for the bracketing, but it'll be following that path all the way up, yeah. And then put it in that.
And when it gets up there, where does it go? On the roof or through the roof?
In this particular one, it'll go into the attic space,
The
yeah,
attic?
and then we'll connect inside.
No conflict.
No conduit exposed outside. We don't really have the options with the utility meter and stuff, so that we can't play with, but our stuff will do it like we go with it.
Yeah, is there, what's the rationale for putting those 5 panels on R4 instead of putting them, for example, under the other panels on R1?
The production on R1 is severely compromised by all the trees over there. There's a bunch of trees. So that's the only viable part of that roof up towards the ridge. Yeah, normally we'd like to keep them all together because it makes our jobs easier, but these hip houses and that side is. So we have to try to achieve the homeowner's totality of need for power for the year. So that's the amount of panels that we need with the production viability of the roof as well.
And R3 is no good?
Yeah, I personally, this is my customer and I personally built this and I've been here hundreds of times, so I know the guidelines, so I always try to build it. So that it's an easy yes, but no, the other roof in the back is not.
Vincent, any questions?
Yeah, I know that we've had discussions about the meter locations many times in the past with the electric company at all. I don't know if we've had any progress with them, but I'm not sure why that can't be in the same place as your panels. It can't be backed up to the other side of that door.
I'm assuming their logic is cost. They're paying, they have to pay for it. And then ease of, you know, being able to do the repairs and stuff. You'd have to go through his driveway a little bit or get really, really close to it if you start the trench all the way over there.
Because part of it is you know, minimum visibility. You've been in front of us, and in the meters, we've had them locate the meters in less visible places for us in the past. So was that requested at all any other place, or did they just said this is where it's going to be?
As far as I know, we did, where our original proposal had it on the side, and then they told us it had to be there.
Yeah, Benny, I can respond to that, but before I do, if we can just keep the talking in the audience to a minimum, I'm having a tough time tracking. So I got from Eversource back in October. I asked Eversource to confirm basically the flexibility of electric meters in historic districts. And the answer we respond was the meter location references listed in our information and requirements book are the standard requirements for electric service. However, they are not applicable for homes within the Springfield Historic Commission District. Field engineer and design and metering understand the Springfield Historic Commission's requirements and work accordingly with developers and contractors in order to find suitable meter locations that comply with these requirements. So I don't know if possible you can Eversource again, and I can give you a copy of this.
Okay, yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, that's the only thing. I knew that they had, I think you'd read that to us before. Uh, but if that request could be made, I'm just uncomfortable just not at least trying to get the electric company to put this on the side. Because they've done it before. They've looked at situations, they said, okay, we can put it there, or the contractor spoke to them and they were able to put it in a less visible. That's like that's just putting it right out right out in front of everything. But I certainly would, in general, I have no issue. I mean, the conduit, we want the conduit to be as hidden as can be. But that meter if the meter were able to be moved, I don't think I'd have an issue with the installation at this point. It seems rather, most of it does seem minimally visible in order and still be able to generate the electricity necessary.
Well, do you think that it would make sense to request to vote on the application, assuming that the meter can be moved on the side with the letter we just heard from Eversource?
I'd have no problem with that. I don't think, and unless anybody else has any other suggestions.
I think that might give the homeowners some little more quality.
Yeah.
We deal with Eversource.
Yeah, as long as you guys are good with the panels and in our equipment, we can work with this, and if they say no,
Well, I mean, even your equipment, if it's far enough back, they can plant something or whatever. It can be. It just so it doesn't draw people's eyes to it. The idea of the historic, we want them to see a historic house, not a new meter and other hardware in the front of the house. So I think I know you understand what we're trying to do, but I'd be okay with the, if nobody else has any other objections to the installation. I mean, if you could put the pictures from the road one more time for me, just so I can see.
They're not gonna start that work until after April 1st regardless, because they don't trench until April 1st, so. We have time with that portion of this.
And they have grass that they trench through there, so.
Yeah,
Well, it doesn't look like a horrible request, and I think for the visibility would be much less off there. That's all I have for comments, Commissioner.
Okay, sounds good. Anyone else before I open up to the public? So this is a public hearing. I'd like to open it up to the audience. For anyone here who'd like to speak in favor or not regarding this application for solar panels at 24 Western View Street. Okay, no one, so I'll bring it back to the commission. I'm assuming that we could, the commissioner could make a motion to approve as long as the meters are moved back in the same location as the equipment.
should we amend the application?
Well,
It might be good to know on the application, but we can also, as a condition of approval, I should see it as a condition of approval.
What if they say no?
Then we would just have to come back and present it again.
Okay.
And there's there's the February, or I would get you on the next agenda would be March 5th, March 19th. And then there's early April one. So
They're not, I don't know how prompt they'll be, but I'll push for them to.
So I would make a motion that we accept the application to install solar panels with the meter socket and other solar panels. I mean, utility boxes located behind that side door on the right side of the house.
Thank you. Have a second.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion, commissioners? No, then I'll take a vote. Commissioner Nestor,
Yes,
Commissioner Coffey. Yes. Commissioner Walsh.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Commissioner Nardi is yes.
And just give them that email
Yeah.
and they can contact John Caldwell directly if they need to, because they're the ones that said that there's flexibility in the historic districts.
Okay. All right, I will be in touch. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
And if you need to call me,
Yeah, I got you.
yeah, man.
All right, next on our agenda, 168 Thompson Street windows, do we have someone?
Yeah, that's me.
Thank you. Please come move down and state your residential, name and residential address.
My name is Steve Graff, it's 433 Bolton Road, Vernon, Connecticut.
You have a letter stating.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just read the overview. 168 Thompson Street, the petitioner has submitted an application for certificate of appropriateness for the purpose of replacing 10 wooden windows with Window Nation Spectre View white vinyl double pane windows containing upper window in glass assorted grid panels. This will let you see this.
Well, the customer requires 10 windows to be replaced on these are all on the first of all. The front, there's three pairs of three, two on the front, one on the left side, and then one single window on the right side. And we chose the window because it is going to be a wood-like window with beveled picture frame, 5/8 on wood grids in between the glass, matching the existing configuration. So we're going to have a colonial grid pattern on the top sashes, nothing on the bottom sashes, just as it is right now. Yes, it's going to be a double hung window, basically the same thing as. And I brought a sample for us here. This is the window we propose.
Maybe we can put it right back on the table and then read on the walls. Thank you.
So we got bevel picture frame to imitate the wood, and then grids in between the glass. These are contoured, so from the outside, from the street, they will look as basically the same thing that is there right now. Yes.
Are the grids available exteriorly?
No, they're not. They discontinued that. And then on the interior, this one has the hardware basically hidden behind the picture frame to further give it the wood window look. That's there right now.
Can you see okay, Commissioner Walsh?
I can't really, I've already got issues with the window. Is it, Andrew, has this been on our approved window list yet?
I did not find it on the approved window list.
Okay, two things, issues for me is the color of the window. What color are the windows that are in there now?
White.
I'm looking at a picture that doesn't, I mean, I can't see it as clear as you guys can, but
The trim looks good.
the trim looks white, but the windows look black.
They actually did paint the wood window on the outside, but the window is white on the it's white on the inside.
We're looking at a storm window on the outside.
Yes, that's stone. Yes.
Yeah. And the no external grids. I don't know that we've ever approved a window without external. Actually, we have, but a very specific circumstance. These windows are made in such a way that you should be able to attach an external grid to it. And
it looks like the grids are on the inside visible or physical on the inside.
these you said these are wood windows? Oh,
These are final windows that are designed to imitate.
No, the ones that are in the house still.
Yes, they are the probably the original windows, really.
Okay, and they weren't repairable or usable?
Absolutely not.
And what was their biggest issue with them?
Well, they have a newborn, and the windows are extremely drafty, they're extremely energy inefficient. And also there are some wood rot problems at the basically the cavities between the windows where the old ballast system was in there. So it's beyond repairable.
It just looks like those are black. You know, the normal color for a historic window would be dark, not necessarily black, but it wouldn't be, they're never bright white. They're never bright white like vinyl. And the external grids, I can see those are painted white. So
So with the black is that's the storm windows.
right, which will be gone.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, does the window appear to be a slim or you know, a low line, you know, low window
No.
on the sill?
No, it has the sash is tight against the sill, but the sash is thick like a wood window. I can send you a photograph if you like.
Yeah, I've been trying to get a different view on my computer so I can see that better, but I'm not able to.
I will send it to your phone, Vincent.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioners, anyone else, questions?
Well, I'm looking through all these photographs and I'm not seeing any rot. I'm seeing what looks like fairly sturdy, sound frame.
In between where the ballasts are, there are some problems, which will not be, I mean, we'll take care of that, but we're not changing anything on the structure. We're basically weatherproofing it, insulating it without changing any of the framing.
Mm-hmm.
So the void where the weight will be.
It will be insulated with fiberglass, yes.
Okay, I too have a problem with the grids not being on the exterior. So it's not available at all.
No, they discontinued
So this particular company.
Did you have time to review our approved list?
I was told that I should take pictures of other replacement projects in the vicinity to present to you, which I did. So I drove down the street, and here are a couple of windows that have been replaced in other historic houses. Yeah, I mean, there are no grids. These are just replacement windows, white vinyl, without any grids at all. Here's another one. They do have black windows with no grids.
Available in black.
Yes, theoretically they are, but the existing windows are white. It's just they painted the stone black. 1 point.
I understand.
Yeah, these are gray windows without any grids. And these are, I think these are just without any grids. So,
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
Well, whether they have grids or not is, we base it more on the historic original windows of the property. Some historic houses did not have, they had 1/1s, at which point a grid pattern wasn't necessary. And I know that you can get external grids that you can attach. You might have to just look for them. In the window's a little thick. It's not a thin line, slim line window. And I'd like to suggest that even though the sill seems to be, low enough, it's still a fat frame and a fat vinyl window. There you go. Maybe we can find out how the grids are there. But I'm suggesting that I don't know that I could approve this. I certainly would give you more time to research to see what you can get for grids, but in external is I believe should be required on this property. That's it.
Commissioners, any other questions? Anything else from you?
So should we then just do a simple replacement window like the other properties in that street?
What do you mean without grids?
Yes, without grids, the same bed profile like other windows that apparently have to improve.
With the existing windows have grids.
Yes, that's what I would
Yeah,
would be
That's what
suggesting.
what Commissioner Walsh is saying is we never really proved grids inside the glazing. Because they just.
So,
So let me open this up to the public first. So is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak either in favor or not for this proposal for 168 Tom? Yes, sir.
I am Harry Seymour. I live at 68 Washington Road, and I don't like this. I'm opposed to this. I think you have, over the past 3 years that I've been here, never approved grids that were not external. And it's a stark white frame and should be dark.
Anyone else, either pro or not? Yes,
Just ask a clarification.
yes.
It was my understanding that pink color really was not covered by the historic guidelines. And the windows themselves on the house are white, so. I'd love to understand. How you're actually looking at it.
The windows have been painted white sometime, but they were probably dark. Commissioner Walsh was. Okay, if there's no one else, I'll bring it back to the commission. I'll be open to a motion regarding this window application. I'm assuming that since you say there's no way of getting exterior windows.
Should we just retry without the grids?
I think what we're trying to say is this is not a window that would be easy for us to approve, just the whole style of the window, but the external grids is the nail in that particular part.
Okay,
But if there's grids, we would not approve something that had no grids. That's your question.
what about the other historic houses in that
We
street?
don't need comparisons to all the other historic houses. We're talking about the window that you're presenting.
I see.
So one of those windows-
I find it rather unfair and
Well, one of those,
baffling.
if one of those windows was this window, then it would make sense to review that it was. But if there was a different window that was approved on the approved list, then that's probably we're looking at in the photograph.
All right. I appreciate it.
Hold on, Griffin. All right, so do I have a motion?
Do we want to consider, would you like a continuance? For 30 days so that you could find a more acceptable window?
No, that's fine.
Okay,
So I need a motion in the affirmative.
Is he withdrawing his application?
are we, you're
No.
not withdrawing it?
I'm not withdrawing anything. I
Just asking for a vote,
was sent here to. And that's what I did.
make a present.
Yeah.
presentation.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you're representing the owner, okay. All right,
He represents the owner, but he's working for the window company.
gotcha.
Okay.
Okay,
Move to approve?
Okay, do I have a second? Second. I'll take a vote. Al Nardi is no. Vincent Walsh,
no,
David,
No,
and then that's for.
No.
Okay, thank you for coming. Thank you for bringing this in. Okay, we're next at 477 State Street windows. Is state your name and then eventual address for the record?
Sure. Good evening. My name is Jermaine McDonald. My residential address is 187 Westminster Street in Springfield.
And
Simmons, GA on the contractor side.
and residential address? Your residential.
Yes, about 25 Winter Street, Springfield.
Okay.
You mean, you just speak up so Commissioner Ralph.
Okay, so, let me read. An overview that the actually an application for certificate for the purpose of installing 32 Windcore 5400 series black vinyl double hung, double pane windows containing 2/2 external grids. And this is an application for appropriate.
It was undeclared, so I guess I'll let the commission decide.
Okay. All right, so why don't you tell us, you show us what your proposition.
So the main thing is that there aren't any windows in the building currently. So they have either been, well, they've clearly been removed. For what purpose, we don't know. If they've been destroyed or, they're sitting somewhere. They weren't anywhere inside of the building. So what we were trying to do is, and I probably should have taken the opportunity to give a broader spectrum in the application, because I think the high reach is, of course, black, no matter what, but the high reach, of course, is the double pane, like top of the bottom. To me, some of the pictures that, are also displayed on the Springfield Preservation Trust. But if we go back through some of the evolution or history of the building, there are other windows that have been installed that were just simple black windows that did not have any panes at all. And so I think that's kind of like the bottom reach of the spectrum for us. In addition to, in some of the pictures, what looks like to be some just plain white vinyl windows. Of course, not looking to do that, but high goal of the double 2/2, and then the low goal of just a wall over one.
Do you have any pictures or samples?
We have this from the company that I can give you there.
It was a wood window?
No,
It's a laminate,
yes.
what do you call the laminate? The grids are on the exterior.
That's my goal, is to
Yeah,
have
that's
the
good.
grids on the exterior, yeah,
The color would be black,
yes.
and black grids.
Yeah.
Commissioner Walsh, any questions?
No, if it's black windows with exterior grids, they're planning 2/2s.
Yes.
The only thing I'd be concerned with, and at a minor level, is how the sill sits, how the lower pane, the sash sits on the sill. The lower the better, as opposed to having. But it sounds like it's the type of window where it does sit low on the sill.
It actually does. I'm looking at the brochure and you're welcome to
So,
look.
no, this sounds like it's all, they're hitting the right, they're hitting the right chords here with me. Black, the correct lights and the low sill, I'm good.
Okay, and we'll keep this for the record.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, anything else, Commissioner, before I open up for the public? Okay, and open up to the public. Is there anyone here who would like to speak in favor or not for this application for 477 State Street?
I'm Harry Seymour, 68 Washington Road, and I want to support this. I'm in favor of it, and it does seem like they hit all the right notes here.
Anyone else in favor or not? Okay, thank you. We're bringing it back to the commission. Commissioners, questions, or I'm open to a motion?
Move to accept
Second, as appropriate.
as appropriate,
As appropriate.
sorry. Move to accept as appropriate.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Yeah. Any further discussion? Vincent?
Oh, I'm good.
Okay, so I'll take a vote. Dan and Nestor,
Yes,
Kevin Coffey,
Yes.
Paul Nardi, yes, and Vincent Walsh.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Okay, we're gonna move on to 45 Greenleaf Street windows. The window back. One of them. Welcome, have a seat, please give us the name and your residential address for the record.
Yeah. 45 Greenwich Street, Springfield.
My name is Emmanuel Olson, 45 Greenwich Street, Fairfield, Massachusetts.
This is a hardship. This is for hardship, and that the petitioner advised that the windows are needing to be replaced due to lead paint. The cost of restoration would be financial hardship. I think this is really a lot. Okay. Yes.
One of them was just. Or red, and maybe the loop the chop. Yes.
So you have to rent like outside of the child becoming an extra cost mortgage.
Can we just repeat that for Commissioner Welsh? It sounded as if one of the children suffered from lead poisoning and had to be removed from the house.
You hear,
Um,
okay, Commissioner?
Yeah, I couldn't really hear them, but thank you for clarifying that for me. Now, can you just zoom in on that house a little bit for me?
Pretty house.
Yes, beautiful. Okay. So how many windows are being replaced? All of them.
All of them.
In what, that almost looks like, have some of the windows already been replaced over time?
The
Two windows.
this is the. Yeah.
Okay. And what window, are we gonna replace them with?
The vinyl window. It's a white vinyl window, and the exterior is black.
Is it this matching grid Harvey Magistrates historic approved windows? On your picture?
Okay.
This was the one
Yeah,
that
that
they
one.
provided us.
So it is the Harvey window.
Is it, are you replacing it with a Harvey window or have you chosen a different window?
But because I'm seeing.
We haven't chosen,
Yeah,
that was the one, that was the
that was-
estimate they made
This
first
was
they
the-
came to do and we couldn't afford it. Also the hardship situation,
There's a-
so we went to this one,
They quoted as this.
with a different company.
So this is the United window that they're
All
proposing.
right, so this Harvey is not what they're using, the double hung black.
Yeah, so there's a couple things in the packet. There is a cost for replacing the windows and a cost to restore the windows. And if I'm understanding correctly, the restoration was too expensive, and then the replacement with the Harvey windows were too expensive, so they're proposing these series 7,400 by United.
Are these on the approved list?
I did not find these on the approved list, I believe. Let's see. I did not, yeah, I did not find them.
So they're white.
Exterior is black.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you didn't catch that, Commissioner Welsh, the exterior is going to be black, the inside will be white.
Okay, well, it's okay. And can you see that how the sill fits? Do you have like a picture of it other than that one?
I'm looking at 7400 series United window at the moment on the net.
Yeah. Because for historic, the historic visual, it's important that it doesn't have that 3 inches of vinyl down at the bottom that a window tucks into. But
The board's not responding.
The sash is similar. It does have the dimension along the bottom. I'm trying to find the sill at the moment.
yeah. Mhm. I mean, it sounds like it's working hard to be an appropriate window. What are the lights that are in there now? What are the?
You can see those.
Yeah. Okay, so windows.
7,400, there you go.
What do it looks like?
So that's the frame there.
Is mm,
I can send you this photograph and I can walk.
no, that's okay. I can see these on the screen pretty well. I just can't. That's the inside view. Which one is an outside view?
Um,
Exterior.
This is probably the best. It doesn't give a lot of context.
Okay. Yeah, that's not a. It's close. It's close, but it has that wideness. Maybe being in black, it won't be so obvious, painfully obvious. It is when it's white. It looked more like a normal sash.
Black is.
Yeah, you just sent me something, Al. Let's see.
Yeah, I sent it to you. They have a sample in white. The black, I can send you that.
Yeah, that's well, we've seen worse, haven't we? Just for the thickness, it seems like it's a little bit of a slim line. It's not as heavy sides and in the bottom.
You'll see the black exterior coming up.
Yeah, okay, I like that. Well, from the information I have, I think this window could be appropriate. Are the lights going to be on the? Are they going to be external grids? That's my only question.
Yeah. I don't think they're external grids, are they?
I found that either.
Can you go back to the street views of the house?
Yeah.
So I don't think there's grids on the lights now.
Well, that would be good. If there aren't any, it makes it easy.
I don't see any on the front. I don't know what.
Okay.
Can you give us a closer?
That's close as we can get to on the side.
Yeah,
I don't see any.
I'm not seeing anything on the upper.
no.
I mean, there's a window open there, so that doesn't count. No, I see if there's no grid pattern, that's lucky. I mean, it's good. The window's black, no grids.
Right.
I'd like a lower sill. I don't know if there's any other model they have that has a little lower sill cut,
No.
but I mean, if you guys looking at it there. If you guys are all right with it, I'm okay with it as well. I just like to have that bottom sash, fit into the sill a little more, a little tighter, a little lower.
I'm okay with it, but,
Yeah, I'm
also,
not gonna, it's black. That will, the fact that it's a black window, that will hide some of that.
yes,
It'll look just like a regular sash from the road. It
Okay.
won't look as sharp. So I'm okay if you're okay.
I was saying, I was gonna say the same thing with the black. Okay, Commissioner, any other questions? Yeah. So it's black that you're talking.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm open up to the public. Is there anyone here who'd like to speak in favor or not? 45 Greenleaf Street? Proposal? Bring it back to the commission. So commissioners, I'm open to your motion.
I move the application for a certificate of hardship.
Second,
For the United Windows in black.
Yes, for United, in black with no grids,
One of the one.
1/1.
Do I have a second?
second,
Thank you. Further discussion? Okay, I'll take a vote. Commissioner Walsh,
yes.
Commissioner Nisbor,
Yes,
Commissioner Coffey,
Yes.
Commissioner Nardi, yes. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Looks like a paper was approved. Next, we have on the agenda, Long Hill Street, single family homes. Good. Maybe you can state your name and residential address for the record, please.
Sierra Loomis, 84 Street, Springfield, Mass.
Hold on, I'm just gonna do-
This is when you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's not to me.
The petitioner submitted an application for certificate of appropriateness for the purpose of constructing a single family dwelling. Petitioner is specifically proposing the following. Staff is unable to definitely determine the window model being proposed, as 2 windows are mentioned in the application. So we'll ask about that. The application says Genwell black vinyl, double hung, double pane windows containing in glass 6/1 grids. Product specification document 7400 series, RD8 black vinyl double hung windows with in glass 6/1 grid. Staff is unable to ascertain the specific door being proposed. The 2 doors is the MMI, full glass, fiberglass double door, or the gel fiberglass double door. The stucco siding, light cream color, orange corning, duration, line, architectural asphalt shingles, color could be discussed. And we'll let you give us a little description of the.
So we want to build a house for me, my wife, my family, my kids. We have 4 kids. We always wanted to build a house in the Springfield area. We happen to own a lot, so we want to invest there. We like the neighborhood, we like the neighbors. It's a relatively quiet neighborhood, although we have, some road noise and whatnot. So we're gonna build a house that's about 79 feet wide, the front. We took inspiration from, let me get the address here. It's down the road through 59. So. Yeah, on the left, right there on the left. That White House there. So we want to mimic some of the features that this house has, like the porches. Although we're gonna make it a lot wider than this one is. All three sides visible from the road will be the stucco siding and the windows. The 6/1. If it has to be on the exterior, we'll put them on the exterior. Yeah, the grids. I believe we put two references there for the windows. We're gonna go with the I believe it's General. That's already in the approved list, so it's just easier to just get one window that has been approved.
Color you propose?
Black.
Black with exterior grids.
Yeah. Now the door, I sent you two links, maybe you can pull them up so they can see
Yeah,
them.
let me go, I have to throw that email and.
Yeah, so the render, we received public commentary about the render. They didn't quite like the look of the exterior. We're not too tied to this design. We have two renders that we're okay with. That I sent him the second render for the second design. We can go with either or. We're more inclined to the size of the house. That's what we want to keep. We want to keep the size of the house and the shape of the building. But the exterior look, we're open to have you guys look at both the signs and see which one you would prefer.
Do they know the design?
Yeah.
Orders?
I don't know what you want, but yes, there is another design. I can show you here, Mark one.
I'm sure you'll do that.
Okay.
So, the.
Were these drawn by an architect?
No, I drew those.
So I noticed that the house that you like, which is beautiful, has a lot of porches,
Yeah.
beautifully curved and things. Have you thought about incorporating anything like that?
No, we want to kind of make it a simple, like have the same features, but we don't want to have too many porches, too many entrances. And also the footprint of the house, we're already at the very edge. We can't add any more porches because that would increase the footprint of the house.
Then you have some.
Yes, so we're already at the very max.
So this would be a one-family house?
Yeah, one single family house.
Also, the windows are much larger than the one that you showed us from your inspiration.
Yes, we had the second render has a little bit of a bigger window and also more windows. So we wanted to keep it again simple as to like how many windows we wanted to add, but we can add more, we can make it a little bit bigger. I mean, we're like flexible in that regard. It's just I don't know if you
stay inside your footprint.
I want to stay in the footprint and also in the shape. There's gonna be a U-shaped building like this, where we're gonna have it's a U-shaped building, and we're gonna have a pool in the middle. And then the drive is gonna be a long driveway. We're gonna go towards the back. Yeah.
Can you show us the second design?
So that would be a second design with again stucco. We received a similar sample from let me tell you exactly who. From the Springfield Preservation Trust. They sent us some links to other colonials, other houses that they would prefer instead of my first sample. So then we took that and we rendered this.
The front doors are what kind of door?
It's a double door. And it's full glass with grids. On the exterior. There are two types that
They look like they're about 10 feet tall, so they're special ventilation.
no, yes, they, in the render, they may look like that, but no, they're 80 inches tall.
So they're standard.
Standard
So
size.
that really wouldn't look like that. There'd be something horizontal on the cross.
The piece between the upper windows and the doors would be thicker, correct?
Yes,
Right, so these would be lower.
yes,
You don't have any drawings or prints of the doors?
yes,
You do?
yes,
That's
yeah. I like that one better, but either or we're okay with. And they're black, exterior grids too.
Any other questions? I think I'll bring that to the side.
I have a question. I know from the Springfield Preservation Trust, the recommendation of working with a historic architect. Are you an architect?
No, I'm a builder.
Are you working with an architect?
No.
Anyway, just you're attempting a Georgian style house. There are some features of a Georgian style house that are kind of missing in your elevation. I mean, the side elevations are, that would be typical, but that front elevation, I think, lacks a bit, and I think that's probably why Springfield Preservation Trust suggested.
And that's why we did that second render. They haven't seen that second render, these guys. So that second render is more towards, they actually suggested that second render.
How many square feet?
It's 10,000 square feet. Roughly.
Okay. So 10,000 is a very large house.
Yeah.
You need a licensed architect in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
You do, with more than 3,000 square feet, you need a licensed architect. Okay.
I don't, I mean, I built houses, so
What
I,
makes you think?
I'm a CSL.
Yeah,
And
and I'm a
I'm
licensed architect.
and
I
I'm
can tell you that you cannot get a building permit for anything more than 3,000 square feet without an architect's stamp and signature on the drawings. And I think that's what he's suggesting, that it's worth those actually.
Well, I already spoke to the building department, and any size single family house I can build with my license. I don't need.
You can build it, correct?
We don't need the plain same. That's what they said. Well,
Well, you're very surprised.
I think that we're all concerned that what you want is a house that you can be very proud of and that you built and that you designed. But working with an architect could help you get closest to that perfect ideal.
Well,
That's why we're suggesting it.
but I can say that this is closer than the first one.
Right.
Just to feel like a piece of it.
But
My
maybe,
real concern was that the size of it is going to overpower what's on either side of it. I think it's way too big for the one. That's my architectural gut feeling. But you'll know that when you see rendering of the other houses in the picture. That would help. Look, there's this house, and here's the house we propose. So you can see how it feels coming down the street, blah, blah, blah. Because what you're creating is something in a lot where nothing exists, so it'll be very visible. My concern, like I said, is that maybe too big of a lot, too large. I don't know that until we see your house in the midst of everything else on the side. You can do that with public. Let's take the house, put it in the photographs and.
So-
Yeah. But, I think we're gonna open up to the public first, to comment, and then we have to read these letters that we receive. Okay, so if it's okay with commissioners, I'm open up to the public from that.
No, I'd like to ask a question or two, Commissioner. Just I mean, of the commission, the plans are not drawn for this property yet. Correct? This is just a rendering, but you actually haven't fit. It's because we're way ahead of, we're out ahead of where we should be. We should be dealing with an actual plan with actual renderings that accurately represent. Now, we can suggest that those windows are okay with us because they are, in the door, whatever, but we're actually looking at something that we couldn't approve anyways today. There's nothing here we can approve, in my opinion, because this is just a rendering without sufficient details. The technical part about architect or not is not on our table. I mean, you had to put it on his. I appreciate that. But, my assumption is that we're going to look at a finished architectural drawings and then whether the windows and the doors are appropriate for that particular.
Yeah, so basically what I'm trying to, because there's no process for us to like meet and maybe have a discussion and, see what you guys would like, what you guys would approve. So
Trying to get a feel.
see which of the two designs you guys are more, leaning towards, and then we'll take that and then we'll bring an actual.
And relative to the rendering, just so to answer your question, on my thing is I'm looking at the windows thinking there has to be more detail to the exterior woodworking of the windows, relative to the historic design. But it's still nothing. We can tell you that that particular window's been approved before, and we will likely approve it again, but we can't actually take a vote or do anything like that until all the other things are completed. But you're heading in the right direction. You're doing some good things here, talking to the Springfield Preservation Trust and things like that. I just wanted to make a note to the commission that there's nothing we can do tonight on this application, in my opinion, unless Andrew or someone can tell me why it's different.
Okay. All right, so let me open it up to you guys. Let me open it up to the public. Now, is there anyone here who would like to speak either pro or not regarding the design that you see at the moment for the single family dwelling proposed for Longwood Street? Yes, please.
Yes, Van Bolden, 30 Maplewood Terrace. My concern is primarily the size of this relative to the lot and to the houses on either side of it. This is an enormous house. It's bigger than anything in that block by far. At least the way it's run. And the problem again is from a rendering, it's really impossible to tell what's really conceived there. So, but with the information that we have, that was a major concern of mine and several members of the Forest Park Civic Association as well.
Okay. Anyone else? Yes, please.
I'm Harry Seymour, 68 Washington Road, and I must admit that I'm somewhat confused about the whole thing, and maybe it's just because you don't have the architectural drawings. When I look at this looks a little bit better than what was at first presented, but it still strikes me as not being quite where it should be yet.
Okay. Anyone else?
I would like to speak on it.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. Councilor Walsh, 42 Magnolia Terrace. This is my neighborhood, and I have been contacted by my neighbors to attend your meeting, which I'd like to compliment you on the way you run your meeting. Precise, and all the information is there. And I'm waiting to see what the disposition of the project is. Certainly not opposed to new housing, but I think it has to be something that's compatible to the neighborhood. And that looks more to me like a school than a home.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes.
We did send an email in, so we're probably one of the letters, but we are directly behind the property, so we're going to be looking at the back of the house. Our family's been there over 40 years, and this has always been just one parcel. The main house, I call it the main house, is 251, and then the lot, where this would be built, has always been a yard for that house. We used to have a fence, we used to have gardens, and it's always been open for at least 50 years. So this is gonna be a drastic change, especially for us, because now we're looking at nothing but a wall. We have open space, we can see the valley. As beautiful as it is, it feels more like a suburban type of building. And you'll have absolutely no yard space for this house or the main house, which is 251, which does own. I had hoped they would live in that house and use the yard as it had always been. Pool, whatever they want, they've got plenty of room for all of that. Other than it's gonna need a driveway, there's no street parking in front on Long Hill. So that adds to that driveway is coming right back to our fence, as well as the size of the property.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Yes. Yes.
Good afternoon, Councilor Duda. I have one of it's 134 Third Avenue, Springfield, Mass. This house in my neighborhood as well. For information, will this be requiring any kind of either zone change or any kind of barriers to build as in colors?
I was going to bring that up in a couple of minutes.
Okay, but I do want to ask a question, but if it does, I can comment as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone else? Yes.
James Sedlock, 24 Spruceland. I feel like this property is just, this house is way too big for the neighborhood. It doesn't represent what the rest of the neighborhood looks like. I think it would be an eyesore, to be honest.
Also, the property 251.
Name and address first.
Melissa Sedlock, 24 Spruceland.
Thank you.
The property 251 is right now being operated as an Airbnb, and it would be nice if that property was maintained better. He does own that property too, and if we want to preserve the historic character of the neighborhood, it would be nice if the current historic house that's on the property 251, if that was better maintained. Like there's some porch work that needs to get done, there's peeling paint.
Not relative.
If the property the house is currently there is not being maintained very well, what will happen here? And I also don't think it fits with the historic character of the neighborhood.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyone else? Okay, I'll bring it back to the commission. So I do have a couple of questions in regards to this gentleman said. Is this still legally one lot?
Yeah,
Okay, so
separate percent.
so what I understand that you can't build two houses on one lot without.
No, it's two separate parcels.
It parceled off legally
Yeah.
already?
It's been always like that. I believe what I was told is that there used to be a property there that for many years. That's what I was told by Bill.
So that's the lot right there. So it's one lot.
Yeah, it's a separate parcel.
We have all photograph?
Yeah.
Okay.
There probably was a house in the 1800s from probably before 1940. But since at least 1970, it has been one parcel.
No, it's two parcels.
Right, but it is now, so when it went into foreclosure, it got split up. But since from 1970 till at least 2000, 251 had all that land with it. There was no land for
Is
251.
this the original, the house that exists there?
Mr. Chair,
That's the house that previously
Yeah.
existed.
Okay, so this is the one that's no longer there.
Mhm.
It's a big house.
It's beautiful. It's a big house. It would be nice if we could find a photograph that shows its juxtaposition
Yeah.
next to the other houses.
I think having this as a win.
Yeah, there you go.
That is a big one.
But you can estimate the house by the window size, basically, and then.
Well,
It's-
the amount of window compared to the wall.
Yeah.
That is much more.
That's it.
So just to
That's
finish,
beautiful though.
so you anticipate that you would have the zone variance because of the size?
No,
No,
I'm right now, the building as it is
you're on
acceptable.
the maximum.
I'm on the maximum allowed, yeah.
Okay. So you plan to live in it.
Yeah.
All right, commissioners, any other questions? I think what I see is, I think you're on your way to something good. Because you started with something that was, and now it's looking a little more, but it's, to me, again, it looks way too big for the lot. But it also makes sense to me, I think that if you can work with a historical architect, which would be helpful for me, even as a consultant, even if the building department thinks you don't need a licensed architect. Yeah, I don't think it's, but it would really help, as I agree with Commissioner Walsh, we really can't vote on something. Maybe this window, maybe that window, maybe this door, it has to be very specific. Okay, so. If you can work with someone and continue your manipulation of your design, get a little bit more to what you want to have us vote on. That would be helpful. So we would want a continuance of this, give you time to work on it.
Sounds good.
Because that's what it sounds like, you're trying to get understanding of what's happening. I think we should read
But the size of it would not be improved, because that's what we're looking for most.
I would have a problem with the size of it, but unless you can show us photographically. In other words, you step way back from across the street, take a photo of both houses on either side. Then you show your design, you know exactly where it's gonna be. You can graphically do that.
It's 79 feet, I mean, that's not terrible, there are houses that are even bigger than 79 feet.
I understand, but what we have to vote on is how what you're going to build is affecting the streetscape. That's why we need to see the streetscape. Some people build models or whatever, but you can do it graphically. Just like the rendering things, you know, three-dimensional renderings. So it would be done pretty easily. So we need to read these letters up, since this is a public hearing. So since you brought up Springfield Preservation Trust, would you care to read one for us?
I'd be honored.
You're very good, thank you.
Dear this is January 27th, 2026. It's addressed to Andrew Smith, Springfield Historical Commission, regarding new construction at 257 Long Hill Street. Dear Historical Commission, while we are heartened to see a proposal for increasing housing in Springfield, the new construction home proposed at 257 Long Hill Street in the Forest Park Heights Historic District does not conform to neighborhood design and historic district restrictions. Architecture in the Forest Park Heights Historic District is quite plentiful, representing Queen Anne colonial revival, shingle style, Tudor revival, and arts and crafts. New construction should reflect the styles of other properties in the neighborhood. In fact, there are multiple strong examples of new construction in the FPHHD, including the 2-unit condos at 134-136 Burglade Avenue and the 3 condo buildings on Sumner Avenue between Washington Road and Forest Park Avenue. It is important that the size and massing of new buildings, as well as the symmetry, materials, windows, trim, porch depth, railing height, roof angle, are all considered and are of similar style to those around it. While the size of the home seems to be in line with existing structures in the immediate vicinity, the home's style, massing, and windows do not conform. A general inspiration from 325 Long Hill Street can be gleaned but the structural elements which make 325 Long Hill Street a part of the historic district are mostly lost in the proposal for the new construction. Similarly, the massing and style are lost in the noted inspiration from 1 Florentine Gardens and 152 Sumner Avenue. All 3 of these inspiration homes are beautiful contributions to the district. We would recommend working with an architect who understands historic architecture and can properly translate elements from inspiration to design. We might suggest shopping a site like America's Best House Plans to search specific styles. A few examples which the builder might find of interest include Colonial Plan 7922-0037. I'll skip the URL. Classical Plan 4195-00016. Luxury Plan 7922-0080, Georgian Plan 7922-0054. The above are just a few home plans which seem to match more closely to the neighborhood architectural style, while also having the character the builder seems to be going for. These plans were found from just a quick search. Many more options can be found on that site or others. We, however, are not architects or architectural historians, so we recommend engaging the appropriate assistance in your plan development / selection process. As more new construction proposals come before the commission, we would like to encourage the commission to publish its new construction guidelines in 2026 so that potential builders and homeowners can have greater city guidance prior to coming to a hearing for their petition. This might help reduce back and forth as builders try to understand and conform to neighborhood guidelines. We oppose the design as submitted, but are available for the builders should Mr. Jimenez like to brainstorm and bounce ideas off of us. Sincerely, Eric Swallow, President.
Thank you. Would you mind reading the other?
This one from Vinnie's. Is it Lucille?
Okay.
I'm writing in regards to the potential new building on Long Hill Street that will become before the Historic Commission tomorrow night. I'm an arbiter to the property. I oppose the idea of a bill as it would be impossible to recreate a house similar to what exists in the neighborhood. The historic district was created for just this reason, to protect the integrity of the neighborhood and protect the existing stuff from modern changes. Many of the neighbors have lived here for decades, pay a higher amount of taxes than other areas of the city, and understand and have followed the guidelines that exist here. The main house on the property has very little land with it. The adjacent lot was purchased to increase the value of that property and has been one parcel for the last at least 50 years. That smart homeowner understood the value and stability that acquiring land brought to the house and the neighborhood as a whole. As you can guess, any development would change this drastically. There would be no real yard space for either property, thus reducing the value of the main house. The new construction would clash with its neighbors, affecting their values as well. Currently, the main house was turned into an Airbnb rather than being used as a single family for which it was zoned. It's been altered inside so much that it would be unlikely to return to a single family use. This hurts a neighborhood that has stood as solid, desirable, and attractive since its inception. A neighborhood that the city has little issues with and provides stability on the whole. One house can change an entire street. One might argue about the current housing prices, but as a reminder, the current owner chose to use the main house, a prime property within the neighborhood, as a business rather than live in it. He chose to buy in the local historic district, knowing there were restrictions. The city has several development projects going on. Not every patch of land needs to be built on, and it won't solve any housing crisis if we continue to take single-family dwellings off the market for institutional or business use, particularly when there are many defunct commercial properties that could be used instead. This is the kind of thing that drags a neighborhood down. Once done, it cannot be reversed. The neighbors who truly live here and are invested deserve the quality of life they've put in here. Thank you for your time. Getting slow.
Okay, we have another letter from Hector Cruz, 17 Spruceland, Springfield. Regarding opposition to the proposed construction on the vacant lot 451 Long Hill. To the members of the planning board, the relevant party, and writing the concerned homeowner on Spruceland directly adjacent to the proposed development, and allow support and responsible growth. And formally submitting my opposition to this project due to significant concerns regarding its potential use as a short-term rental and associated negative impacts in a residential neighborhood. Our primary concern includes commercial activity and residential zones. Short-term rentals are often considered commercial use of property rather than residential, including a high turnover business. Next door fundamentally altered the character of tranquility in the established community. The addition of additional possible adjacent STRs exacerbates these concerns. Two, safety and privacy intrusion. We're deeply concerned about security risk posed by transient guests. It is common for STR patrons to mistakenly attempt to access neighboring homes, especially when using keypad entry systems. This creates an environment of fear and constant disruption for family. This has also been a recurring issue with the current STR. An additional STR will only increase safety concern. Traffic and parking and traffic congestion. Frequent turnover and high occupancy often leads to guests exceeding on-site parking capacity and can result in overflow into the street. This creates an issue during winter months as parking bans are implemented. Patrons of the STR do not adhere to them, impeding the snow plowing of our streets. Additionally, we've already had issues with vehicles from the current STR Airbnb property on 451 Long Hill Street on the sidewalk and impeding pedestrian access. It is our understanding that all operators must submit a detailed parking plan to the planning department for approval before a permit is issued that could help address these concerns. Environmental and health nuisances. We anticipate increased car idling and noise from guests arriving at late hours, which directly impacts our air quality and peace. Unlike permanent residents, transient guests have no long-term stake in maintaining neighborhood standards. We are currently having excessive idling on the driveway and street from transient guests at the current STR. Lack of oversight. Without owner occupancy, issues like crash accumulation, loud events, and unauthorized occupancy often go unaddressed until they become a police matter. Specific city ordinances concerns that apply to the above primary residence requirement. The Springfield law generally requires STR operators to be the primary owner occupant of the property. If the new build is intended as investment property, there would be no owner who will reside and may be ineligible for a full year STR permit. It is our understanding this owner has several STRs listed in state Airbnbs in the Springfield area and does not currently live at 451 Long Hill, currently listed as an Airbnb property. A butter notification. The city requires abutters to notify all neighbors within 300 feet within 30 days of registration. We argue that the previous notice of current STR on 451 Long Hill was never received, and notice after the fact is insufficient given the permanent impact of a new construction project. Noise curfew. Springfield noise ordinance prohibits unreasonable noise in residential areas, particularly between 10 and 8 a.m. We will note that transient guests, unlike long-term neighbors, are less likely to adhere to these local peace and quality standards. Sidewalk obstruction and pedestrian safety. Short-term rentals frequently result in more vehicles than a property can accommodate. We are particularly concerned about vehicles blocking the public sidewalks, which forces pedestrians, including children and seniors, into the street to bypass the obstruction. This is a direct violation of Springfield Code, which prohibits the obstruction of public footpaths. Car idling. Transit guests often engage in excessive car idling during arrivals and departures at odd hours, including the noise and air pollution directly outside of bedroom windows. security mistaken entry, transit nature STR poses unique security risk. Guests unfamiliar with the layout of our street frequently making neighboring properties for their rental, mistaking properties for their rental, attempting to access our home using keypad entry codes. This creates an environment of constant alarm and intrusion for family. Commercial exploitation of residential space. According to the Springfield Good Neighbor Handbook, residential zones must be maintained for the benefit of permanent residents. Converting a new building into a high turnover rental business bypasses the intent of our zoning laws and places a commercial burden on a private residential block. I urge the board to disapprove the application, require a binding covenant prohibiting short-term rentals to protect the integrity and safety of the neighborhood. I think those are the three of them.
We have one more, yeah,
There's one more.
yeah, perhaps. It's the floor up there.
If I listen, yeah,
It's in that.
Let's see that, no?
I'll read it. January 31st, 2026, dear members of the Springfield Historical Commission, I am writing about the proposal for new construction on the parcel across from my property at 270 Long Hill Street. I welcome a house in this location, but said house should be congruous with the rest of the neighborhood. The house proposed has a significant issue. It is far wider than any other house in the neighborhood. The lot in question is drawn as 126 by 125 feet. Through the house at 251 Long Hill, though the house at 251 Long Hill seems to be over the lot line. The proposed house is shown to be 79 feet wide and 44 feet deep, plus 32 feet deeper for the garage. I have superimposed such a structure on the lot. The house to the left is about 44 feet wide at the front facade. The house to the right is about 45 feet wide at the front facade. This makes the proposed house 78% wider than either of those houses. The widest nearby house at 283 Long Hill is about 66 feet wide. The proposed house is still 20% wider than that. The proposed house is simply too wide for the lot, and at this width would dominate all other houses to their detriment. There are many other issues with the proposed design, but the extreme width, especially with a two-story design, is the overarching problem. I would suggest to the proponent that he could find a house plan from the 1860s to 1925 period, which is the era of construction in this neighborhood, and use that as a template to propose a new design. Sincerely, Ralph C. Slate, 270 Long Hill Street.
Thank you. So, and I'll just add, just an observation so everyone understands from the site plan. One side of this house to the property line is 18 feet by proposal. That's half of this room. So from the middle of the room to that wall would be where the property line is. On the other side, it's 28 feet, which is less than the width of this room. And from the front of the lovely portico porch area, there was 18 feet to the sidewalk area, which would be half of this room. So the front porch would be where this lady is with the black coat, and this would be the sidewalk. So that's how close this is to the property. According to the site plan so far. Okay, so bringing it back to the commission for any other comments, but it seems to me that from what you're, well, I hear you speaking, as you wish to have a continuance to give you time to work more on what you propose.
But
Yes.
10,000 square feet, how many bedrooms?
4.
4 bedrooms.
Yeah.
And
He's gonna have a theater, a gym, a studio, and office for myself.
you don't propose, this is your personal home, you
Yeah.
don't propose renting it?
No, no, I'm gonna invest about $1 million there, so I'm gonna live there. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, so do I have a motion to continue?
I'd like to make a motion to continue. And what are we talking, 30, 60 days? Continue 60 days.
What's the least we could do? 30 days?
Our next meeting, February 19th, then it's March 5th, and then March 19th.
February.
February 19th, so 2 weeks to turn around a design. I would like it a little bit earlier so I can distribute it, especially with so much public interest. It would be great to have the design out.
So then we'll do March, not March.
March 5th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so.
So motion to continue to the next meeting.
March
He's
5th.
asking for March 9th.
March 5th.
March 5th.
I'm sorry, March 5th.
Oh, okay. A motion to continue to March 5th.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second,
And further discussion?
you've been doing by solar.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take a vote. Al Nardi is yes. Vincent Walsh,
Yes.
Ben Esford,
Yes.
Kevin Coffey. Yes. Yes, you have mentioned.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, just feel free to contact me.
Okay, moving down to preservation of historically significant buildings, that, 2 Bay Street from withdrawn.
Yep, that one's been withdrawn, so really no actions needed.
Okay. We go down to a CPA related request for Garfield Street, repairs to cedar shake siding and replacing the rotted trellis. It was as a plea, and please give us for the record the name and residential address.
It's fast, so they're going to 245, we're going to drive, Springfield, Massachusetts.
Elder Eric Walker, 17 Middlesex Street, Springfield.
All right,
Okay.
thank you. So,
Yeah, one more.
I'll go to the right. Over the past few years, Springfield Historical Commission has been writing letters of support to people and groups applies to CPA funding. Discussing the matter of community preservation committee, staff has ascertained that community preservation community's most important needs a determination that states that the building meets the chapter 44B definition of historic resource being on the state register of historic places, or found to be important to the community because of its history, architecture, archaeology, or culture, including the letter of support. This was possible.
So with the letters of support, I asked the Community Preservation Committee if it was a requirement for their process. They said no. In talking to Karen Lee about it a little bit more, if we're providing a letter of support for every project, are we really like we're not really differentiating between projects? So it's just it kind of washes it all out in saying that you're supportive of all projects. Nothing wrong with that. It's just a little bit more work. But if you want the letters of support, we can definitely do so. At the very least, the CPC is asking for a determination that this is historically significant or meets the other standards provided by Al.
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
Andrew, could you? I missed the beginning of what you were just saying relative to the issuing of these letters. So if you could repeat that, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, so a lot of essentially all the CPA applications that have come before the commission have been, we've issued a letter of support, and when the CPC is going through their process, not all the projects are going to be approved. So basically, we're providing letters of support for every single project, knowing that some of them aren't going to be approved. So there's
Well,
really no
okay,
differentiate between them, so.
right, but we're not supposed to be the arbiters of whether they're approved or not. We're just, if we think it's historically significant, we're supposed to let them know.
Yeah, so that's really what CPC needs to, but we've also been providing letters of support. So if the commission wants to continue with letters of support, I'm happy to, continue writing them on behalf.
Well, I don't, I don't want somebody to not try to get something, just, not come to us when it might help them do it. It's not a case of how many of them we do or we don't do, because we have in the past turned things down, say, no, this doesn't look like, it's only happened a couple of times, but we've said this doesn't look like a historically significant situation. And then they would make an argument why it wasn't. And I don't know how far back you'd have to go, but I know we have voted, not to send something.
Yeah, and that's really what the CPC is looking for. They're looking for just making sure that it's historically significant. And so it's like two different things. They're looking for a determination, and then the commission has the discretion on issuing a letter of support. So we've really been issuing both in the past.
Yeah, I don't ever remember it getting broken down. I just don't want to impede somebody's ability to do something because we might, I'm not sure what change you want to make from what you said. I'm not sure the difference.
Yeah, we can discuss it another time if you want, but
well, we're here.
Yeah, it's really, if we're supporting everything, are we really supporting?
Well, I think that's what he's saying. We're not necessarily supporting them.
Well,
wait, but we're not supposed to determine whether it's historically or whatever, if it's, and if somebody presents us with something that sounds like it's the right thing to do, we should be issuing a support letter. I'm not sure why we're trying to not do that.
Yeah, and again, in talking to Karen Lee, I was just trying to, delineate the process. And what they're really looking for their process is a determination. So a determination that it's historically significant. Whereas a letter of support is the commission is saying, we support this project, essentially asking them to issue funding for this project. But the issue that I was seeing is we were issuing a letter of support requesting that the CPC issue funding for 20 projects when only 11 projects were going to get approval.
Well, I respectfully disagree with your interpretation, and here's why. We know that they're going to make their determination what gets funding and what doesn't.
Yeah.
But if somebody gives us enough information that we can say, yeah, we like what they're going to do, so we want to write a letter of support. Even if they don't get it, the people know that they might not get it.
Yeah.
But I don't want them to not get it because we don't say we believe they've given us enough information to issue a letter of support.
Well, I think in this particular property, we just simply have to determine whether it is a historic resource.
Yeah. Okay.
And I mean, if you guys want to continue to issue the support letters, that's.
I just wasn't sure where you were going. We can talk about it another time. But this project clearly has significance. So I'm not sure what you want to do.
Okay,
I just think that the letter of support has nothing to do with whether they choose it or not.
Yeah.
No control. But the letter of support says that this commission believes that this project is worthy. And I think standing up for that is really important. Even if they don't ever use it for anything, that another piece of paper in the pile, it's a statement of our support for this endeavor. And it's clearly a gorgeous and historically significant.
Yeah. And I'm not pointing out this property in general. I'm just talking about we're going to start getting a slew of applications for CPC's fund or CPA funding soon. So.
And they might use it for our support for something else.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's my feeling.
Yeah, no, any comments or?
Yeah, it seems to me that the question. If the request is our finding that it's a historically significant structure, then that presupposes that we've done a historic structure analysis of the building, including researching the history of the building and all of that, everything that goes along with that, and not simply issue a letter.
Or visually.
Right, well,
It's an interesting.
I'm not saying it's not, visually compelling, and it does not appear to be historically significant. But that's different from doing an actual analysis of it, a historical structure analysis. And that's my question, I guess, is that what is the CPC asking for that determination when they're asking for our determination as to whether it's historically significant? Because that is, as I understand it, a charge of historic commissions to do that kind of analysis, but that's different than just writing a letter of approval.
I think if I'm understanding correctly, basically the CPC is looking for that determination as Al said and written in this paragraph. And then at the same time, what the commission has been doing is issuing a letter of support for the projects. So they're looking, so there's two things, but at the minimum, CPC is looking for a determination.
Right. Which to me is more than just offering a resolution. A motion at a meeting, right? There's work there. That's all.
So, in order to make this determination, what is usually done?
I mean, I wouldn't deviate from our past practice. Usually that the requesters would show up and say what they're doing, and normally it would be a project that would be non-applicability. So, it's usually some sort of restoration work. That's usually the goal of CPC in issuing these awards, is making sure that whatever they're doing is restoration and a restoration project.
Okay.
Well, the proposed repair of the cedar shade siding, removing and replacing the rotted trim around the exterior of the window, is very obvious when you look at the photo. Right? It's necessary to keep this
Structure intact.
structure from falling apart.
Just as a final clarification, yes, I think what's being proposed is historically accurate and significant and important to do. But again, that's not what the Community Preservation Commission is asking for. They're asking for it much more detailed, at least as my reading, meets Chapter 44B definition of historic resource.
So maybe you're suggesting that we should go through that process.
That's what I'm asking, is that the process that would be tasked with?
I guess so. I mean, this is direct language written from Bob. So I'm trying to see if I can find historical
Is Attorney Suchek online?
Yes, I'm here. What was the question? I apologize.
Yeah, so you understand what we're talking about? I'm not sure if we're speaking loud enough.
Yeah, it's something about what you're voting on the. Can you repeat it?
In other words, should we be going even deeper into the determination of it being a historic resource according to Chapter 44B? Or just that we support its restoration because we believe it to be significant in our neighborhood?
Yeah, I think that the second is probably better, because we're 44C, right? And this is 44B, we're historic preservation.
Yeah, this is in the context of issuing CPA funding. So the CPC is looking to make sure that it's a historic resource, which is defined here under 44B, which I believe relates to CPA funding.
Okay. So kind of got me out of left field here. Could I?
Answer right away, I mean.
Yeah, I kid. I don't want to just give you an answer right away without looking more into it. I can get you the answer in the next meeting.
I'd like to add to the discussion when you have a minute.
Okay.
I'd just like to say that I agree with Commissioner Walsh that I wouldn't like to see to do anything to prevent this particular property, which is well thought of in Forest Park, to have an opportunity at funding. And from the point of view of the Springfield City Council, this is the kind of project we approve. Not everything that we approve for CPA is historic. So I think you should give them a shot.
And one of the criteria here is it's listed on the state register.
Mr. Chair,
Which would be, since it's in a local historic district, is on.
Yes.
Yeah, so, it does qualify as a historic resource.
Commissioner Walsh, you were gonna say something?
yeah, I was going to say that in the past we've gone by date. Is it in a historic district? Is it on the historic register? And does it historically enhance the neighborhood that it's in? And that's all we had used in the past for determination. So what Attorney Shuchuk has to figure out if that was sufficient enough to make what we used to use the determination. Age, any recognition, historic recognition already existing, or even just is it a historic age property that is enhancing the area it's in. So if we have to do more than that, we'll have to know, because that property there, if you check the age, you already know it's in a National Historic District. We've already determined that it's appropriate. So.
Okay, so it sounds like we need to table this to get attorney's review for our proper language.
I mean, based on the definition, it seems like it would qualify as a historic resource because it's on the state register. Yeah, it is in a historic district, which is on the state register of historic places. So, I mean, it's up to you guys on tabling.
I'm okay with it. What do you think, Kevin?
If that is the legal requirement, then I'm okay with it. It's just, my question is are we being asked to actually do a deeper analysis than simply say, yes, it's historic because it's in a historic district?
The practice seems to have never been a deeper analysis. It does seem as if you don't need to go into a deeper analysis so long as it meets one of the criteria there.
Where I've seen discussion of deeper analysis is when it's a commercial building someplace that they're looking for some funding or whatnot, but it's not in a district, it's not on a register,
Right.
that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I'm familiar with 106 reviews, and so that's what I'm thinking of, a historic, historic structures report that describes the history of the property and, details exactly what that significance is, which I'm not arguing that it's not.
Yeah.
I'm just asking if that's what if that's what the CPC is asking us to do. Otherwise, I think what's been proposed is clearly in keeping with the historic structure of the building.
Yeah.
And it's clear that the applicant intends to do, all of the appropriate work that, to preserve the building. So I'm certainly not questioning that.
Okay. All right, so I'm open to a motion to find that it is a historic resource.
Do you want to issue a support letter as well? Do you want to issue a support letter?
I think so, yes, because this restoration is very important at this time. To keep this building from taking any further money.
So I would make a recommendation that the motion be a determination that it's a historic resource, and then
Support its restoration.
Yeah, and issue a letter of support for it.
So moved.
Do I have a second? Second. Then I have a second. Vincent Walsh,
Yes,
you, yes, Paul?
Yes.
Mr. Kelly? Yes. Yeah, yes, thank you very much.
thank you. And I just want to add for Attorney Shuchuk, please check it out for us so that moving forward, if
Yeah.
those, the criteria we used the last 14 years I've been here is sufficient or not.
Yeah.
Thank
Got
you. What a good point for us to consider.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. So, what do we have left? We have some administrative updates.
Do I have any? Let's see. I did 3 certificates of non-approval, one's for a brick driveway, which will require a permit for DPW as well. An installation of a fence and asphalt shingle roof to an asphalt shingle roof at the address is provided herein. Attorney Shuchuk did give me an email relating to the question at the last meeting regarding an ADA ramp. Attorney Shuchuk, is that okay for them? Is that it's not attorney-client privilege, right? Like it doesn't really matter if this is shared or not.
Yeah, no, it's just a quick sentence or two about
Yeah.
about it.
That's
So
really the last paragraph. I just wanted to make sure there was no issue with it being read aloud or anything
yeah,
like that.
no, none at all.
New construction
I don't know if anyone wants to read for Commissioner Walsh, or do you want me to read it? I can read it.
Yeah.
Okay, regarding Boating Street, whether the Historic Commission can impose conditions relating to a proposed handicap ramp. My takeaway from the question was wanting to understand if applicants could construct any type of ramp they want it under the guise of complying with ADA, or whether the Historic Commission has a say to its appearance. I think the concern may be if the commissioner did not like the conditions imposed as to how it looks, they may argue that the conditions are contrary to ADA and that they do not have to adhere to historic guidelines. For example, if the commission came back and mandated that the house being higher off the ground, that would require a redesign of the ramp. Could the petitioner come back and say that they cannot meet the requirement because they need to consider the handicap ramp, whereas on the design team to figure out, especially if they have the space to do so, and then can the commission condition how the ramp looks. Yes, the historic commission can have a say in, or historic district / commission, I would say, can have a say in the design of the ramp. The historic commission is given a substantial measure of discretionary power with respect to the appropriateness of exterior architectural features and congruity to historical aspects of the surroundings and the district. So that was the result of that.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
And an ADA ramp can be on the interior of the house, it doesn't have.
Yeah, so that's good that I'm gonna store that one with my electric meter correspondence as well. So we'll have that on the ready should it ever come up again. And then for our February 19th meeting, the people from Mountain View Street will be back. 21 Mountain View with a enhanced application this time around. So I think the owner and the manager is going to be showing up, and I think it will be a little bit easier of a discussion this time around. So that's the only thing on our February 19th agenda as of right now, but I am expecting more CPA related requests. So and that's all I have.
There you go. Anything else, commissioners? So what is the status of the application for Bogan Street?
So they are actually going to be going in front of the neighborhood council, neighborhood council on February 11th, I think it is. So, and then the architect is gonna be out of state during our next meeting, so they have requested that be continued to the March 5th meeting, so I'm expecting probably an update to the design, which they're anticipating having around February 25th-ish, and so I'll get that out in the hearing packets for the 5th.
Good. What feedback, but you don't know the same public speak out.
We have to have a phone call.
Oh, yeah.
Phone call.
Phone call for the next meeting.
I just want to say, I'm here.
Okay.
When is that meeting?
19th. Commissioner Wall.
Yeah, I expect to be there. Just give me a call a couple days ahead of time to make sure.
Okay, virtual still?
Yes, at least for another 6 weeks.
I'm not the commissioner, but as Councilor Walsh, I would like to say what a pleasure it's been to attend your meeting. And I think how lucky we are in the city of Springfield to have dedicated people like you who you know your stuff on all this historical aspects of everything. And I thank you for your time and making the city of Springfield a better place. And Vanna, nice to see you. Congratulations on that great play.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your service to our community. We really appreciate all you do for us.
And P.S. the city council very rarely votes against churches. So when that CPA comes up, I'm pretty sure it's going to pass.
Yes, and I will be here.
Okay, so I'm thinking about the new construction proposals that we had today. And I've seen others, they're not all that often, but I've seen them. 2.5, 3 years ago, there was a subcommittee formed to develop new construction guidelines. I remember Judith Crowell and Brian, I don't remember his last name, he's no longer a commissioner. And they did some brilliant work. I thought it was really, really good and innovative. Because new construction has to not only be about windows and doors and peripheral things, but it also has to be about the community, about the street that it's on and where it's going to be positioned and things like that. And they had some really good thoughts on how to do that. And there's a lot of publicly available data now to be used. You don't have to go out and actually survey everything. So I'm really bringing that up because it seems as though that process is stalled. And I don't know, did it enter into some legal issue or is there some reason why that hasn't moved forward?
I think it just got stalled because of change of staff. But I think our brilliant staff person here is trying to get back onto it.
Yeah, I've gathered all the information that I could find on the network, and I'm starting to bring it into a document. Yeah, and I did a project, I don't remember when, towards the end of the summer, where I basically went on the Macris and looked at all of the houses in the historic districts and got a classification of what they are, so whether Queen Anne or all that. So I was trying to formulate like an appendix that people could use that says this is the style of the street, and then incorporate features of that style when they're looking at new construction in that neighborhood. So that took some time, but I largely finished it. There's gaps in that data though, which I don't necessarily have the expertise to fill those gaps. So I would be relying on people to help fill those gaps if we wanted to. And then my next goal is to actually structure the guidelines. And so my plan is in March, I'm gonna have time where I'm gonna have to be away, but my plan is while I'm away, I can get that further and hopefully finish it and have it presented. So hopefully soon.
I hope you have some notes from Judith and Brian. It was really innovative. I can't even remember exactly what it was, but I remember thinking, wow, that is really an interesting way of doing it. And they found a certain lack of clarity in trying to determine whether a particular street had a particular style, and that style should dominate that street. They found that was like a little too limiting in some ways.
Yeah.
But they had some good ways of looking at it. So I hope you can do that. And I'm glad to, and I'd like to see it move forward. I know it won't solve all the problems with new construction, but at least people would have something to review before they actually came before the committee, because when they come here, you can see they're like trying to figure out what is it that I really have to do, you know? I mean, forget the last one that we said looked like a dentist's office, right?
Yes.
It's like, you could get a little closer, just having some sort of guidelines to look at. Make sense?
I've always said that it would be great for us to have a subcommittee discuss their application with them. Before doing this.
Yeah. Yeah.
For new buildings, yeah.
It is a big deal when people come in here.
Oh, it's huge.
You know, it is a big deal, and they feel honored or they feel depressed at the end of it. You know, I mean, seriously.
I agree.
Yeah, and they, by the time they get here, they have a very firm idea of what they think is right.
Exactly.
And that can be hard to convince them that perhaps they went down the wrong rabbit hole. I agree. Maybe there's something we could do.
Well.
Give me till March. I'm hoping to have something come March.
Anything else, Commissioner Walsh, from you?
Well, I'm not going to be home for a while, so I can't. I was going to look through my files. I'll do it when I get home if we haven't gotten anything different yet, and see anything I can find on that. When Jaleesa left, we ended up in a kind of gap there, and a lot of the information that subcommittee worked on, we haven't been able to locate. So, Andrew, anything you find would be great. I think any of us who were on that, who worked on that, I think, Al, you were there too. If you have anything at home or any of your files, maybe we ought to just get it together and have another subcommittee meeting just to see if we can pull that thing back out after, because we did do a lot of work. We were so close to finishing it, and then we couldn't find it. We couldn't find because of a change of personnel. That was an accurate statement.
We have some of what we do.
Yeah, but I think that's a worthy goal to set in the fairly near future, is to just try and pull the paperwork. Otherwise, if we might have to start closer to the beginning than we want. But it does warrant some attention. And Harry, I appreciate you bringing that up.
If you find anything, I would suggest you don't mail it or email it with the worry that it might get lost. So if you're someplace warm, I'll be glad to come down and get it.
Well, yeah, but I don't have it here. If you want to go to my house in Springfield where it's buried in snow, you can go. No, you have to wait. I'm going to be back the beginning of April, and I'll find it.
I would go to Springfield, but my dogs have died of cold.
No kidding.
You are. Come on, fess up.
Well, it was cold here today too. It got about 55 with a wind chill of about 50.
Oh.
55.
Yeah. The day before yesterday, I think it hit 70. It was. I'm not suffering, guys.
Okay. Try not to suffer.
Yeah. There's just something, is it possible to get a copy of that electric meter letter? It's a question that has come up every single time that the letters go out, my neighborhood got the letters this year. Your meter's gonna be replaced, you have no choice in the matter, you have no input into the matter, you don't get to tell us anything. And we're a historic neighborhood.
I had my meter replaced Monday.
Yeah, did they tell you they were coming or did they just show up?
They showed up and they couldn't find me, so then I made an appointment for Monday.
Oh.
Saturday, someone comes with a meter to try to put it in, and he discovered that the meter had a lock on it. Then he said, "Oh," I said, "Well, I have an appointment for Monday." "Oh, okay, well, I guess somebody will show up on Monday." The man showed up. He had his ability to take the lock off in the basement. I said, "So tell me something. Why is this called a smart meter?" And he said, "Because I'm an architect, I'd like to know." I said, "Right now, the meter is read by a truck coming by the houses, and the meter gets picked up the signal from the truck picks up the signal, so it doesn't have to be outside, right?" "No." "So what's different with the smart meter? We don't need to drive the truck by. It sends it directly to Eversource.
Oh, my God.
So it still doesn't need to be
So
outside.
it doesn't need to be outside." I said, "Thank you
Oh.
very
That
Wow.
would be helpful. I know it has, I'm president of the Firespar Civic Association, and it comes up every single time. And this year, because they told me mine had to be replaced, and mine is smack in the front of the house. I put a shrub in front of it, so you can't see it. But I was told unequivocally, nope, that's where it has to be.
I even asked a question, because this is the only other thing I could think of. That was, do they want to put them on the outside because they're afraid if I don't pay my electric bill, they can come and take the meter and follow it? And he said, "No, because with the smart meters, we can shut it off from a building."
So there's really, it's really their convenience because they don't want to talk to the homeowner
Anymore.
at all, period. It's not, they were quite incensed the first time they started walking up to my house and I said, "I'm sorry, but you can't work here right now. All these other people are here working at the moment." And they were incredibly rude,
Yeah.
incredibly rude. So
Well, you also enjoy this, that I finished with. I said, "As you can see, this room that this meter is in is quite secure. This room was a vault at one time. That's why there's a metal door here. So this entire house can burn down, but your meter is safe."
all right.
Sure.
Yeah.
So can we take a vote to adjourn? All those in
Motion
favor?
to adjourn, yeah.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Al.